Oh my God. Bacon. Cooking. Oh my lordy, what is going on here? Oh my God. What the hell? I saw your panel. Great job. Oh yeah. Our panel got the most heated apparently. Apparently, our panel, which was me, Simone Sanders, former Bernie comms person, Simone Sanders, Jessica Tarkov, our queen, and yeah, Jessica Tarkov, our queen. How can people see? They're gonna post it. They're gonna post the panel. Oh, and Tim Miller as well. And it was heated because you know me, I can't keep my mouth shut. There's some clips, but I don't know if they have. I don't know if they actually get. If they actually capture how much heat there was. But here it is. Here's the blast off meme / the panel will probably be up. I'm going to post a vlog of my experience on the background as well. But yeah, I have all the clips from Crooked Con. Don't worry. Yeah, Manti said 2 of my faves. Fox will explode. I hope so. But yeah, we got Shakira Law is imminent, okay? Is incoming. You already know. We got Shakira Law all up and down the... Jessica is tallest. Yeah, she really is. Here's some clips that came out where I said Greg Buttfelt. I could have stopped myself.
His election results. And Fox captures that there are people who have kind of like a shared core set of values maybe, but they're not taking themselves that seriously. They're not like, scolding each other. Like, it also matters in the quality of the programming. It looks great. Our graphics are beautiful. Our lighting is fantastic. Are you making a face?
Look, I'm your Fedayeen. I'm your biggest diehard fan, okay? But no, I don't think the Fox News graphics are beautiful. Look, I respect what you do, especially because, like, if I had to sit next to Jesse Waters and Greg Buttfeld the entire time, I would myself. And the fact that you have been able to successfully sit in that room every day and just white-knuckle through Jesse Waters' snide-ass remarks is impressive. It is.
Concur.
Thank you. And it is nice to be amongst my people, which I'm usually not, like cautiously weaving through here. But my point in bringing it up, and you don't have to love our graphics, even though they're copied in every move.
I said Buttfeld, dude. I said Greg Buttfeld. Your best efforts to break out of your terminally online brain rot have unfortunately been unsuccessful. I know.
And things like that. It's like the official look of it. But... but... even when...
The PR people love Jessica. She is a favorite of the Fox PR folks.
But nothing is taken that seriously. And that's not the case in liberal media. And that doesn't mean you're not talking about serious things, but there's this feeling like it is not the end of the world in every topic that you're discussing. And this idea that we can just go and show up in conservative spaces or, you know, come for an hour and you have to be open to those kinds of things, like, doesn't capture how hard it is for people who vote like me and some of the things that I think to genuinely form bonds.
Between your Smoke Crackman on Zateo, January 6th tour with Summer Lee, and this, you've had a week for sure. I mean, yeah, I don't pull back. Actually, that's not true. I do dial it back quite a bit when I'm around people. I do try to dial it back a little bit. Did the audience like you? Yeah. I mean, the thing is, a big chunk of the audience, yeah, I flaked up with the legend, Jessica Tarkov. The audience was, there were a lot of Hasanabi heads in the audience, but I will say there were moments, specifically around Israel, where virtually the entirety of the panel was contesting my positions, which was still pretty crazy. Jessica Tarlov, she's kind of hot, not gonna lie. And then you put a hostile. Yeah, I don't think the Fox graphics are copied in movies because they are particularly good looking. They're copied in movies because they are representative of like a very specific aesthetic that is, you know, borderline fascist, spreading misinformation. That's it. That's the reason. Did you mean to say Buttfelt or did it slip out? I'm gonna be honest with you. It slipped out. A little bit. It definitely slipped out. How are we already blasting off? What do you mean? We're only 27 minutes in. But this is when we blast off. Is this true? Yeah, this is HRT. It's real. From Hasanabi to Hasanabi. Remember when he said Joe Brandon in front of Marianne Williamson? I know, exactly.
and interact on an ongoing basis with people who you disagree with. An hour, 2 hours, 3 hours is not getting to know the other side. Living amongst them and spending time with them is. And I think that's why I'm able to do my job and have a reasonable therapy bill, like not insane, but you know, we know each other like the family that it looks like, which is dysfunctional, but it's still a family. And people who watch the show, and you know, we have 20% Democratic viewership, like still get that.
Hasan,
Sorry,
no,
I know it's not maybe not the answer you guys wanted, but
I want to actually. I do
You're
wanna,
not getting a lot of claps because you're defending Fox News in this room.
Well, I think. Let me speak. I want to talk to Hasan about what you just said. But before, I heard something from the crowd, and I think it reflects what they're feeling, which is, well, they're not taking it seriously because these are people that are not appreciating the consequences or are ignoring or telling themselves a story about the consequences. And I know you know that.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. It was pretty good. I need this to be real. What is this? Breaking. Mamdani plans to convert Trump Tower into a homeless shelter. I need this to be real. Lamau. Holy shit. Cook King. Yeah. That's had 385,000 likes. That's crazy. In any case, we got some more spicy moments, some spicy facility moments here. Let's take a look.
They didn't win because they opened up the aperture and let people do what they need to do. They won because they tripled down on what they believe, even if what they believe.
Right. That's just not. I'm sorry. That sounds good, and I like it. I want it to be right. It's just not right.
They didn't win because they tripled down on what they believe.
No, they did triple down on what they believe.
Yes, they tripled down on racism.
Yeah.
It was populism, but it was populism is a thin ideology mixed with a thick ideology, according to Cass Mudd.
Simone,
His populism had a lot of things in. It was an economic populist, but populism had a little white supremacy in it, a little racism. Like Bernie Sanders is a populist in a different way than Donald Trump.
Yeah, here's the thing.
So I don't understand.
Here's the thing, though. Can I just say really quick, though? Here's the thing. Like, yeah, he doubled down on a bunch of terrible shit that they believe that's extreme. No doubt. No doubt. He also was seen as left of Kamala on foreign policy. He was seen as an anti-war candidate. He was seen as anti the Republican establishment on war. He cut to the middle on that.
Yeah, he lied about that, for sure.
He's a liar.
Of course he lied.
Yeah.
He lied.
But then maybe our guy should lie about some things that are popular, too.
Okay,
I don't know.
Now you sound like me
did.
during the campaign where I was like, what the are you guys doing when you're not like addressing this stuff where Donald Trump can present himself as the peace candidate? That was insane to me. But obviously, sending Bill Clinton to Dearborn to talk about Judea and Samaria, as most people were seeing.
All right.
Most people were seeing.
I want to bring us back.
Children on their timeline every day.
Let's not
It was
pretend like they
unacceptable.
didn't moderate on things. That's all I'm saying. He moderated.
Hey, yo, mods. Kind of important, but avoid the Noma Metro. Thanks so much. I don't know if I can say why, but please be safe. What the are you doing, chatter? What are you saying? What the you mean you can't say what? They pulled that shit in so quick. The only circle with Palestine is taboos. These countries. I know. There were a couple different moments too. Israel is the one thing. Israel's the one thing where they were just like, yeah, don't do anything stupid, chatter. Yeah, chatter is speed running an FBI fast react team at his door for sure. Anyway, getting back to what I was talking about. Are you the only pro-Palestine advocate on that stage there? I mean, some of them have like moderated on the position, but yes, I don't know what Simone Sanders' position is on Israel, so I can't speak for that, but it was like, it definitely, I'm glad to always be on panels like this. I'm glad to always be in rooms like this because I will always take that opportunity. And Crooked Con is a fantastic opportunity to get in front of an audience that is prime, that is like begging for voices like ourselves, okay? That's something that you guys have to remember because that is the most receptive. That is the most receptive audience that we can be in front of. You don't have to be, you don't have to compromise on your values. And as long as they're making space for the left flank in the party in front of some of the biggest audiences that are directly talking to liberals in general, that are left curious, I think it's always going to be a good thing. And I'm always going to take that opportunity. I talk to those people every day, and there were people that genuinely believed that Donald Trump was actually excising the violent criminals. And the only reason why people are led to believe this lie, aside from the faucet of misinformation that comes from independent outlets on the right and also Fox News as well, is because there is no robust response from the Democratic Party that says that's a lie. That's a lie. Undocumented migrants in this country are responsible for a lower rate of per capita crime than natural-born U.S. citizens are. If you pair that up with documented migrants, it's negligible. It is marginal, and they're hyper-focusing on it specifically because this is a vulnerable population that is easy to target and it's easy to ridicule, and there is not enough of a robust defense mechanism out there. And that's the reason why people end up believing this bullshit, and then they get shocked when it's actually implemented. I talk to those people every day, and there were people. This clip was fire. I defend migrants, defend your neighbors. I mean, yeah, but in all, Dems have been completely toothless against Trump. They lose every messaging and branding opportunity that he provides. And there have been countless just pathetic leadership and strategy all around. He's right. And the hate towards undocumented migrants are a distraction from the real problems of wealth inequality and corporate big money dominating politics on both parties. Like, there are people on there. There are people on there on the panel that are like working within the confines of the Democratic infrastructure. There's people in there that are ideologically opposed to the left flank of the party, but they're like more open-minded than they ever have been. And it's really interesting because those guys on there sounded a lot like me, maybe not completely, but their messaging on what the Democrats should do was almost identical to what I've been saying during the campaign. This commentary that was like pushed aside, right?
I'm Dan Pfeiffer.
I'm Hasan Piker.
I'm Ro Khanna.
I'm Andy Bashir, governor of Kentucky.
We're at Crooked Con.
What is the worst cliche in politics?
The one that pisses me off the most is when people go, better things are not possible.
I don't like the term the coalition. I just believe that we go out there and we earn the vote of every single voter.
You gotta meet voters where they are. Something I say all the time.
We're going to do things for the people.
The only poll that matters is the one on Election Day.
What should Democrats be thinking about heading into 2026?
How to tackle the income inequality in this country.
Class first politics, centering the working class and their issues and their financial struggles in every piece of messaging they possibly can. Just slam that in there over and over again.
Affordability, about people's jobs and how we make their life just a little bit easier and a little bit better.
Winning? Winning is a good thing to think about for the midterms.
Yeah, winning is good. We should think about how to meet voters where they are.
I did meet Andy Bashir. I did. And it was brief. I met him and I met Chris Matthews, and they were talking to one another. Chris Matthews was just like, he looked like he did not know where he was really. And Andy Bashir had no idea who I was. He did not know at all, which is fine. I mean, he seemed kind. The Chris Matthews Bernie clip was in my mind the entire time. I wanted to walk up to him and whisper in his ear, "We're setting up the gallows in Central Park." Yeah, he's old. He's very old. I didn't want to test it. I didn't want to test the theory that if I were to say that, does it feel weird to be surrounded by libs at a convention? No, I went to the DNC. I think you guys don't understand, both within the infrastructure of the Democratic Party and both within the audiences that attend these sorts of things. There are a lot of people that are infinitely closer to our position that simply do not understand that they are, or simply do not understand that they are so close or in complete agreement with our worldview. You have to go to where the people are. You have to, in order to build a mass movement, you have to engage in mass politics. Okay? You have to understand that most of the liberals, self-identified liberals, most of the self-IDing liberals actually have a lot of appetite for our version of the world, for our vision of a future. Okay? There is a reason why the Democrats also kind of lean into this like left flank position on issues from time to time until they get, a little too worried about how popular it's becoming. And then they immediately present divisions and say, no, we're not like that. We're not like that. We can't have anything good because it has to be one step at a time. Just declare defeat. Yeah. Bro, when you spoke, the crowd energy was crazy in that panel. You can see it. Do you feel like people there take you personally more seriously after the Mamdani win? I think it's been happening even before the Mamdani win. I think it started with the defeat. When Kamala Harris lost, a lot of mainstream liberal voices were like, how could this have happened? What did we get wrong? So they looked around and they came back to people like myself, partially because I do go to these spaces like the Pod Save America bros, right? And they were like, oh my God, this guy was actually ringing the alarm bells about right-wing radicalization among Gen Z youth and all of the failures of the Harris campaign, even before the election. And since then, there has been obviously more mainstream attention on your boy. And as this movement continues to grow, there will be more of that as well. As you said, remember the words of Lenin, frustrated reform opens the path to the left. Yes. Definitely started with the Kamala's defeat. Even I was pissed off at you for a good 3 minutes, respectfully. Yeah, what's funny about the Kamala Harris defeat is that, like, I rang the alarm bells over and over again, and people would yell at me. And then still, there is this contingency online of people who are just like drama focused and deeply unserious that are basically trying to move what remains of their increasingly smaller sliver of an audience in the direction of angst and animosity against me individually. And they just keep saying over and over again, like, I was responsible for her defeat. And it's so stupid because most liberals, most normie liberals don't see it like that at all. So it's become this weird thing that if you're on Reddit too much, if you watch Sex Pestany, if you watch Ethan Klein, right? If you watch those guys, you literally think like, oh yeah, no, this is right. He did actually cost the election. Because that's all you're getting that's the avenues that you're getting your information from. But their parents, like their grandparents, the Barbers and the Deborahs do not feel that way. Because when they hear my commentary, they go, no, that actually does make sense. Why didn't the Democrats do this? And it's very strange that, the more online you are, the more online brain poisoned you are, and the more you get your information from these like deeply unserious places that are simply using, world-changing political events, specifically to drive home whatever kind of personal animosity they have towards a content creator that they despise. Like they have their own personal agendas is what I mean. And a lot of people cannot shake themselves out of that stupor, and it frustrates me to no end because it's deeply unserious. And sometimes I wonder, like, what will it take if you are like a conscious person and you care about politics and you care about making the world a better place? There's got to be a point where you go, okay, well, these guys are actually not as invested as I previously thought they were. Because if they were, they would probably shut up about Hasan or whatever kind of drama that they're trying to create and focus on actual issues that matter. Yeah, my goat, Joyce Carol Oates, supports me. I know. I saw that. That was funny. And she doesn't know who I am at all, but she immediately went in. They are not angry because a New Yorker who is Muslim was elected mayor, but because right-wing propagandists told them to be angry about it. Angry about transgender persons, Haitians eating cats in Ohio, illegal immigrants, and something about Christmas. Right? Because Alex Cole says, it's hilarious watching MAGAs lose their minds over a Muslim mayor like Muslims aren't already our neighbors, teachers, doctors, cops, and firefighters. They're not mad Mamdani's Muslim. They're mad he won without lying or cheating and is not a convicted felon like Trump. And to which someone replied, no, this is why. Zoran and his best friend Hasan Piker, I'm saying it deserve 9/11 Hasan Piker. To which she replied with, taken out of context, question mark? Probably he said much more. Susan Sontag said essentially the same thing in reference to U.S. foreign policy, bringing devastation and ruin to Vietnam, Cambodia, and the Middle East over the decades, provoking eventual retaliation and revenge. Yeah, Malcolm X chickens coming home to roost moment, right? And that's what I think like a competent, reasonable person looks at this stuff and thinks. Nah, she knows who you are, lol, she's tweeted about you before. No, I know. But only recently did she find out who I was, and she doesn't know my deep background or anything. What do you mean? And someone went, well, that's one perspective. I myself am of the 9/11 was the work of murderous psychopaths against innocent civilians trying to make a living school of thought. I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree. Oh, sick, man. You're saying 9/11 was bad? Wow, brave take. We all understand that. Why don't you do just a little research? It can be exciting to learn something. But how naive to think that out of nowhere, a gang of terrorists decided to go to enormous effort to murder innocent civilians trying to make a living, whom they don't know, and not rather that they were following directives from leaders who acting politically, not personally, to punish the U.S. government. The Twin Towers were symbols of U.S. imperialism. That is the sole reason for the attack. But the literal reason that the attack happened was that Bush and cohort ignored repeated warnings about an imminent terrorist attack. If he'd acted, 9/11 would have been thwarted. Really? You didn't know any of this? Oh my God. My queen. Bacon. Cooking. Oh my lordy, what is going on here? And they're still in her replies being like, you're wrong. This guy sucks. Last night, Hasan Piker said, this is the country that defeated the USSR, unfortunately, and claimed now there's an alternative that's about them, that's not about the billionaires and millionaires. Meanwhile, Hasan lives in a $2 million house, and this is the third option. In LA, a $2 million house is a starter home. In fact, there's not such a thing as a $2 million house. In fact, is there such a thing as a $2 million house in LA? Whoa. My queen. Damn, she's in the mud. Olivia Reingold of the Free Press is glued to Hasan Piker at the Zohar Mamdani victory party, eating the right of hippies. We all had a crush on Prince Kropotkin. Oh my God. What the hell? She is in the trenches. Youngest Hasanabi head. Is that thing, as always, where your haters are so insane that it makes people with brains like you automatically? I know, but unfortunately, people with brains is not so common, okay? That is a unfortunate reality here. Are you meeting G next week? Yeah, absolutely.